How to break any habit, any addiction. I'm going to explain this with an example. So, lately, or lately or before, I had all my socks in my closet in a bag. So I would go to my closet, grab my socks, right? But I wanted to put them somewhere else because it wasn't, I wanted to leave that space for just my clothes. So I got a dresser and I put my dresser in this corner over here. And I moved my socks into the dresser. But what I've been doing is I've been waking up and going to get my socks from the bag that's in the closet. And I wasn't able to get my socks. I would not get the socks from the bag in my closet, but I would go to my dresser and I would get my socks from my dresser. And where I'm going with this metaphor is let's treat the addiction or the habit as the socks in the closet. If you move your addiction, your habit, to the socks in the dresser, you're no able longer you're no longer able to access the socks in the closet. I know that sounds like kind of a wishy-washy metaphor, but what I'm saying here is, to me, that metaphor really made sense because your mind is a creature of habit, habitual habit. So if you're able to block yourself from accessing the socks in the closet and you move it to somewhere else or just block it at all, you won't be able to access your addiction. So for me, mine was porn addict. What I had to do was I had to block the socks that were on my computer or on my phone. You had to This is what you have to do is you don't need to be disciplined at all. You just have to move your socks to the dresser. You just gotta, if you're addicted to porn, what you gotta do is you gotta block porn off of your computer. That way you're able to not even you don't need discipline. Because how are you going to watch porn if you can't even access it? You can't. And then eventually you build a habit. And eventually, even if those porn blockers are gone, you won't even try to access those sites because in your head, you know you won't be able to. Just like I don't go to my dresser I don't go to my closet anymore because I know I won't be able to access my socks from the closet. I have to access my socks from the dresser. And that could be you replacing your bad addiction with something else. That's the dresser. But the main point is you're blocking yourself from accessing it. And that might be hard to block yourself from, let's say you're addicted to smoking weed. That might be hard to find a way to block yourself from accessing the weed store or the drug dealer. I don't know where, if you're watching it, still legal, illegal. From where I'm from, it's legal. But what I'm saying is it might be difficult because that is something you can access, right? But once you put those habits in place, your brain will pick up the habit of not going to the weed store. So maybe you block your drug dealer. Maybe instead of going to the weed store, you go for a walk. You have to replace it with the dresser. Not go to the closet where you can access your socks in the closet. You gotta replace it where you can access your socks from the dresser. So you have to find a way to completely block yourself from accessing your addiction. So my example as I gave is I just fucking lock that shit down, and a way to extra make sure I'm not going back to that closet and I know that my socks are not in the closet but they're in the dresser is I would take the password and I would give it to someone, like, because usually the porn blockers it would have a password, right? So I would take that password, you give it to someone else. You give it to your mom, your parents, you give it to your fucking friends, you give it to somebody that you know is not gonna get, like, cares about you and knows that is not gonna give you that password. So that right there is the way to break an addiction for good. You remove your socks from the closet and put them in the dresser, because then you will stop going to the closet. You will go to the dresser. So to reiterate, you lock yourself completely from that addiction. There's no discipline involved. You make it as easy as possible not to access it. No discipline is really involved except the discipline of finding the ways to lock it up, right? The more secure you make it, the more you will succeed at overcoming your addiction and programming your mind to have a new habit. You got to replace that old habit with a new habit. So another example would be if you're addicted to cigarettes, that one's going to be hard because you're going to be able to go and access them just like that. Like, you'll be able to just go to the store and buy them. Maybe you have to literally have somebody take your card away, your credit cards. Just be like, hey, I'm trying to get, like, that's the extreme level that you have to take it to. Hey, I'm trying to get over cigarettes. You get your closest friend or your spouse or whatever, and you say, I will, if I'm going to buy something, I need you to come with me. If that's the level you have to take it to, you can take it to that level. But if you're able to just be like, instead of going out and getting cigarettes, I'm gonna go for a walk. Just replace that habit. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Comment. I'll see. Comment Charizard if you made it to the end of the video. Yeah, like, you guys like the new setup? I know I'm rocking with it. I worked not too hard, but I'm trying to make it come together, trying to make it more engaging, a little Pikachu. But yeah, I'll stop ranting. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.